I drove like a madman that day, speeding, passing cars left and right. What up, peoples? Alfre YAYEGO. Now I want you guys to pay really close attention because I'm about to say something of much importance. Freedom. The feeling of not being pulled back, tied down, or locked up. Unless you're a real freak and you like those kind of things, then by all means, my dude, do you. Or I guess let someone else do you. Like Missyelliot said, my dude, get your freak on. Yeah. Personally, I think the meaning of freedom for someone depends on where they are in their life. For some, freedom maybe means just being free of debt. Me. For some, it maybe means being free from the rat race of life. Me. For others, it just maybe means being free from that crazy baby moms they got. Let's move on. But for most, freedom means going where you want, when you want, with who you want, doing whatever you want, with no responsibilities, no worries, no problems. Yeah. Unfortunately, freedom like that is like having a baddie that gives you a straight answer when you ask her, so what you want to eat today? It doesn't exist, my dude. Not entirely, at least. The freedom part, because the baddie part doesn't exist at all, my dude. You got a better chance of finding a car than when you drive it, it gives you gas money. A sugar car, if you will. But if she's a big booty baddie, then by all means start my engine sub, shift me into first gear and drive me freaking crazy. I'll put the key in myself. Actually, that's a great way to feel free, having a car. You can just get up and go whenever you want, if you got enough gas money, that is. Because if you don't, you gotta just stay home, take the bus, walk, or maybe get you one of those Flintstones cars with a hole in the bottom. And get ready to yabba dabba do some running, my dude. Having a car also frees you from taking public transportation. Standing and waiting around for the bus or the subway is not even the worst part, my dude. What makes public transportation really horrible is having to stand or sit next to someone that forgot to use or maybe doesn't even know the magical combination of soap and water, and it's just filling up the whole place with a very interesting aroma. And by interesting, I mean but before you start even thinking of getting a car and being free from the diverse mix of aromas on the public transportation, you gotta get yourself a little piece of plastic that you hold in your wallet at all times that protects you when you're in your car with that special person, if you know what I mean. A driver's license. What were y'all thinking about? Get your minds out the gutter, you naughty people, you. Personally, when I was younger, I never had any interest in having a car. But then again, I did grow up in Bonaire, which is so small that if I stand on one side of the island and fall, my head touches the other side of the island. So I never actually needed a car. But my parents always wanted me to get my driver's license. They always told me this is a very important thing that you gotta have in your life. And oh, were they right, my dude. When I turned 18, my parents gave me the money to get my driver's license. So of course I took the responsible route and did what any good son would do in that situation. I spent the money on something else. But before you go judging me, it was something really important. Wanna know what it was? I wanna know too, because to be honest, I don't remember. Dumbass. My parents were freaking pissed, my dude. They told me that if I ever decide to get my driver's license, that I would have to sell whatever it was that I bought with their money. I still don't remember what it was. And pay for it myself. And because of this, I ended up getting my driver's license like 10 years later in the Netherlands. And paying thousands for it out of my own pocket, my dude. And the reason that I finally decided to get my driver's license wasn't even because I wanted to be free from everything. It was simply because where I worked at the time was far from my home. And the public transportation there sucked. So I had to walk a lot. In a way, getting my driver's license did have a little bit to do with being free. Yeah, being free from getting wet. Every time it's raining outside and I still gotta go to work, or being free from walking around with some snowballs every time the temperature is feeling a little bit frisky and decides to go down. I thought I was gonna get my license like that. I took the written test and I aced it. Well, I passed. Right then and there, I thought, done. My driver's license is in the bag, my dude. Right? Wrong. In the Netherlands, you are required to take driving lessons. I already had some driving lessons with my parents when I was younger, so in my head, I didn't need this. Oh, was I wrong, my dude. Bonaire and the Netherlands are like two different worlds. When I got behind the wheel for the first time, I was full of BDE, you know? Dumbass. But as soon as I got on the road, everything changed, my dude. That big D in BDE turned into a lowercase letter very quickly. Because in Bonaire, it's like one street that goes and comes. But in the Netherlands, there are like 10 different lanes, roundabouts, stoplights, millions of traffic signs, and don't even get me started on an evil freaking place they call the highway. I guess the reason they call it the highway is because the only way you're not gonna go crazy on it is if you're freaking high, my dude. So needless to say, my first driving lesson in the Netherlands didn't go exactly as expected. But luckily, my driving instructor instructor is the freaking best, my dude. She gave great advice and had all the patience in the world with me. And she needed it, my dude. She saw immediately that driving to the small streets was no problem for me. My biggest issues was the highway and those roundabouts. I freaking hate the freaking highway and those freaking roundabouts, my dude. And I guess they hate me right back. Cause they made my life freaking difficult, my dude. But with some lessons and a lot of patience, a whole lot of patience, my driving instructor finally told me that I was ready for the driving test. If you say so. The day of my driving test, I was so freaking nervous, my dude. I was like, do I even need to be in the car for this? Can't you guys just go on without me and pick me up later? No? Damn. But like I said, my driving instructor was the freaking best, my dude. She's a really short lady, but don't be fooled, she's a gangster. When we were waiting at the place for me to take my driving test and she saw who the examiner was gonna be, she just smiled, said hi to him, and then immediately pulled me aside and told me in a very quiet but very serious voice, okay, listen very closely. I know this examiner. He only used this route or this route. He always does this. We practice all the routes, so you got this. I was like, are you sure? And she was like, am I sure? Are you for real? Are you testing my gangster? Okay, she didn't say all that, but in my head she did. And then it was time for me to take my driving test. Me and the examiner got in the car and we were off. As soon as he said the first turn left here, turn right there, I turned up, my dude, because he was taking me exactly to one of the routes that my driving instructor said he would. So the D and BDE turned into an uppercase again, my dude. I was like, do we even have to do this? Just give me my license now and let's skip all the formalities and stop wasting each other's time, right? Wrong. I don't know what it was, my dude, but that day my driving sucked. And I still had a little teensy-weensy, itsy-bitsy problem with the highway. But of course, driving on the highway is part of the test. I drove like a madman that day, my dude. I was speeding, passing cars left and right, but I was always putting my turn signal on. You gotta be safe and let other cars know when you're gonna pass them like a freaking crazy person. All of a sudden, he just told me, take the next exit. To which I replied, whoa, my dude, I support your lifestyle and I'm flattered, but I don't swing that way. I don't want to take your exit, but he meant the highway exit. Dumbass. I guess even he got scared of the highway driving with me. When I had to exit the highway, I was in the far left, but I had to go to the far right. So I switched like 3 lanes at once, which was unsafe AF, my dude. But again, I always put my turn signal on, which in actuality cancels all the unsafeness, right? Wrong. Everything was a blur after that. But then I started to get a little bit of feeling of relief because I saw that we were headed back to the driving test place. But before we got there, we had one more test to go. We had to go through a freaking roundabout. And like I said before, I hate the freaking roundabouts. And this is no simple roundabout. To get on that roundabout, there were 2 lanes to choose from. The right lane goes to the right and straight, and the left one is if you want to keep going into the roundabout. My dumbass was so nervous that I was driving on the right lane, and getting onto the roundabout, I went to the left lane. Needless to say, that wasn't a good move. I don't think my turn signal is gonna save me from this one. So in like a flash, the examiner took a hold of the steering wheel and turned it to the right and pulled us back to the right lane. After that, I just took a hold of the steering wheel and just looked straight ahead, my dude. This was so freaking dangerous. What a dumbass. I just wanted to open the door and leave the driving test right then and there. But I guess that would have made the situation even worse because we were still driving. But I knew that that was it. I was done. When we got back to the driving test place and we sat down and he was gonna give me my results, the examiner told me that he was ready to let every single crazy thing that I did on the highway go. Because even though I was driving like a crazy person, I did have good control of the car. But when I tried to unalive him on a roundabout, yeah, he couldn't see past that. I mean, we're alive. Just put on the soundtrack of Frozen and let it go, my dude. Jeez. So, I passed. Of course not. Are you freaking crazy? I almost unalived the examiner. I was really disappointed in myself that day because I let myself down and I let my driving instructor down. But I didn't give up, my dude. I took a couple of more lessons, went back for the second time, and passed it like it was nothing, my dude. I got my driver's license. I don't have to take public transportations anymore. I feel the freedom, which is actually the only thing that's free about all of this. The feeling. Because everything else was expensive AF, my dude. I had to pay thousands for my driving license, hundreds or even thousands for a car, all types of insurance for the car. You got to bring it to the garage every now and then, more now than then. Then you gotta put gas in the car. And those freaking gas prices, my dude. Thinking about it, I think I'd rather walk or even take my chances of my nose falling off from all those interesting aromas on the public transportation. But you guys don't gotta worry about all that. You wanna feel free? Just come back to this channel. Watch all the videos, comment on them. Don't forget to like, share them with everybody. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.